Well, since we're running a little late, we'll go ahead and get started. I want to welcome everybody. I'm Nicole Willard. I'm a senior director here at the library. We're so excited to share this momentous occasion. I'm so happy to see everybody here. Hopefully it's going to be a nice celebration. For 130 years, the library has served as the intellectual hub of our campus community. The roots of our library can be traced back to the establishment of the Lyceum Society, Literary Society. It was the first student organization on campus, organized in 1893. As a debate club, they no doubt understood the critical need of having access to information. So the society in 1894 organized a debate with the other literary debate club on campus, who were the Pioneer Club. And they raised $26 in admission fees, and that is what they used to purchase the first books and periodicals that went into our library. So that was 130 years ago. This month, actually. We were trying to get it in this month, and we barely made it. Right. It really marked the inception of our dedication to providing access to information and encouraging scholarly discourse among our students. It was really the beginning of Central's commitment to our library and academic excellence. Originally, we were housed in Old North, and the library quickly became an integral part of campus life, providing curriculum and texts, important texts for students and faculty alike. It remained the center of campus and academic life as it moved into the Old South, which was the old administration building, which no longer stands. That was in 1904, and then to Evans Hall in 1915, to the Communications Building, which was originally dedicated as the Max Chambers Library in 1957. A lot of people don't know that. Until we have this magnificent four-structure building that we dedicated in 1969, and then the addition that was added in 1997. So we have grown and try to keep up with higher education and the changes that have happened there. At President Lamb's inauguration on Friday, I heard Mike Turpin quote Cicero saying that a room without books is like a body without a soul. So then I say the library is the soul of this campus, and I hope that we are here for another 130 years to serve you. Before I introduce our first speaker, and this is going to be a short program because we got hot food waiting, I do want to say some thank yous. I want to thank my advancement communications team, Jeff and Cassidy and Amaya. Raise your hands. They helped organize all this. I also want to thank the the Archives and Special Collections team, Heather and Brooke and Oliver and Diane. They've created the wonderful display of the history of the library that you'll find across from the south elevators over here. Be sure to have a look at it. It's awesome. And it's just so fun to look at the old pictures. Who knows what microfilm is? Well, you'll see it over there. And then I also want to thank TRC, Julio and Rogelio and his crew. They are so wonderful in helping us with all these events. I mean, it takes an army to pull these things off successfully, right? Okay, so I want to introduce our first speaker, our Executive Director who supports everything that we do, Mr. Habib Tabatabai. Began serving the library over 30 years ago as a reference librarian. He worked his way up the ladder and was really our first director of library systems, which was a new department at that time that evolved out of a need to better manage all of our growing technological resources. And in 2015, he became our esteemed executive director and has been instrumental in making many improvements to aid our students and faculty in their academic pursuits. So please help me welcome Habib Tabatabai.
I want to make my comments very, very short. President Lamb, Madam First Lady, and Provost Simmons, dear guests, welcome. Thank you for joining us today to celebrate 130 years of service, dedication, and contributions that we have made to the Central community and beyond. we are here, but we are actually delivering a global service, basically. Also, I want to make a comment. I hope this is just the first of the 130-year anniversary celebrations. Basically, we are not going to be here to witness it, but, but we can at least hope for the future generations. I want to leave you with one, I guess, issue or topic to ponder about. Anton Klassen donated the land in 1890 for this university, basically now. And his wife, Ella B. Lamb, I wonder if there is a connection to Todd G. Lamb. So, and on that, thank you for being here, and Nicole. So.
Thank you, Habib. We're going to have to research that thoroughly and see if there's a connection. Serving in many leadership roles since coming to UCO over 20 years ago, our Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs is definitely dedicated to academic excellence, as those who work with her know. Over time, I have also learned that she is someone who values history and the places that preserve it. We are so grateful for all her support. Please help me welcome our Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs, Charlotte Simmons.
Thank you for that warm welcome. And thank you, Nicole, not just for the welcome, but also for everything that you've done. You have been a treasure to our institution, and yes. Because I do value and love history so much, and love everything that is UCO that I can find out, you have been such a treasure over the years that I always, if I didn't know, I always knew who would. And for those of you that don't know, Nicole will be leaving us this summer, retirement. She says she's looking forward to it, but you will definitely be missed, Nicole. Can we give her a round of applause? So, of course, the topic being the libraries, and because I do have the love of history, so I want to tell you about some really important libraries from the past, but also from intersections with my mathematical career. So this would be from math history. So the most prestigious post in the Hellenistic world was indeed the chief librarian. And it was a position that was held by Aristophanes, who was called the wise man of Alexandria. And he held that position for 4 decades because he was the smartest, wisest man in Alexandria. And so he would be in the library and absorb all the holdings that the library had. This was the largest repository of learned works to be found anywhere in the world for many years, boasting 600,000, and you have to think differently. We're thinking about more digital now, but in the beginning, before the books, were papyrus rolls. And so the first libraries actually had papyrus rolls, so they had 600,000 within 40 years of its founding. So Aristophanes was an author of extraordinary versatility, writing about geography, philosophy, astronomy, literary criticism, and poetry, in addition to his mathematics. You might remember him today, maybe not, but he was the first to devise a practical method for calculating the Earth's circumference. He also invented the discipline of geography as we understand it today. So it is reported that when in his old age, he lost his eyesight and could no longer avail himself of the library holdings, he stopped eating because life without the library was one that he did not want to live. At the age of 10, Andrew Wiles was reading a book in his local Cambridge library when he found a problem that he, quote, knew from that very moment he would never let go. I had to solve it, he said. It was a problem, it turned out, that collective genius of all the mathematicians in the world across the centuries had not been able to solve in its 350 years since it had been proposed. 30 years later, at the age of 40, the New York Times carried the headline, "At last, shout of eureka in age-old math mystery," announcing that Dr. Andrew Wiles, now a Princeton professor, had solved an unsolved problem that he learned at the age of 10. Dr. Herbert Hauptman, a mathematician who received the Nobel Prize in Chemistry along with Jerome Karl in 1985 for their work in X-ray crystallography, was once credited for having saved more lives in this century than any other with his trailblazing contributions to pharmaceuticals. He says he credits it all to the magical time he spent in the Bronx Library as a child, reading the works of great mathematician Carl Gauss. So as Sidney Sheldon once said, libraries store the energy that fuels the imagination. They open windows to the world and inspire us to explore and achieve and contribute to improving our quality of life. Those of you who know me well know that I rarely give a speech without a quote, so I chose two for this occasion. The library is an arena of possibility, opening both a window into the soul and a door onto the world. That one rings true for me because as a first-generation college student from a low-income family, the library was my key to knowing what the world was all about and what possibilities there were. So congratulations, Habib and Nicole and the entire library team, and happy 130th. Like you, I don't really plan to be here in another 130 years, but I hope they celebrate.
Thank you, Dr. Simmons. It just shows you the importance of interdisciplinary study, right? You don't think about history and mathematics going together, but there really is always a connection in there. Okay, our president really needs little introduction. We've all gotten to know him a little better through the week of events that led up to his investiture last Friday. So I would just like to say, in my 30 years here, having worked with 6 different presidents, I have never seen a president who meets students where they are the way that Todd Lamb does. I know the students seek him out hoping to get a selfie that will end up on his social media. I do know that. And his wife, Monica, I love how they both have embraced blondes and blue. We were just saying, isn't it wonderful we don't have purple and orange as our school colors. But the style that Monica brings is awesome. I asked her the other day, she's a woman after my own heart, where did you get that suit? And she told me, but the best part was, it was on the 75% off rack. Woman after my own heart. I mean, I love hunting a shopping bargain just like a man likes hunting a deer. Anyway, President Lamb and his wife Monica bring a new energy and excitement to our campus at a time when we really need it. So please help me welcome our newly installed 22nd President, President Todd Lamb.
Thank you, Nicole. Dr. Tabatabai, it's always good to see you and be in your living room, so to speak. Dr. Simmons, Provost Simmons, it's always a pleasure to be on the dais with you, and thank you for your leadership. And you know, when you talk to the provost, even for 20 minutes, and she shares similar to things she shared just moments ago, you think you should get like 1 hour credit of history somewhere, maybe mathematics, maybe history, but it's always great to learn something new that you share, and the well is deep, I've learned. Monica, thank you for being here. I know through Monica's career as an educator, the library itself has been so important to her as an educator and to her students. Since Nicole was brought up earlier and her pending departure, you're too young to retire, your pending departure, that kind of fell off my radar. I've been a little busy, and it's been, well, you know, the good news today is this event, this celebration, this recognition, this 130 years, yay, this will not last near as long as the investiture. But since it became a little more official, little sidebar, we ran in the marathon relay on Sunday. and I saw someone with a UCO shirt, and I walked up and introduced myself because we're all one Bronco family. And she said, well, I graduated 2 years ago. I heard you're the new president. And then she said, wow, day 2 on the job, you're already running a marathon. So I've been here 10 months, but thanks for noticing. But Nicole, this is just for Nicole and nobody else. Nicole, it's official now, as of the investiture, with the power invested in me as the 22nd president of the University of Central Oklahoma and all the powers and authorities and duties, responsibilities therein, I hereby veto your retirement. That motion is non-debatable. We are adjourned. You're one of the first people I met on this campus. One of the first. And you welcomed me with open arms. And you brought us here, introduced us to Dr. Tabatabai, and then you took us in what has become one of my favorite places on the campus, downstairs, and the archives, and looking through all of the wonderful pieces of art. And it's kind of like shopping with no budget. Nicole said last summer, she said, tell me what you like. Like, I can do that. Seriously, Nicole, thank you for all of your service for so many years, your talent and your skill set, and you could have used that talent and skill set elsewhere, but all the time and energy you poured into the University of Central Oklahoma. I say on behalf of everybody, you've heard this directly, but I say on behalf of everybody, we love you, we appreciate you, we respect you, and we wish nothing but the very best for you. Nicole. That's a really long introduction to some just very brief remarks. I love a good library, and celebrating, a century plus right here. I was hoping for a cake with as many candles, but I don't see that anywhere. But I've been reflecting of all the libraries I've used throughout my academic and personal pursuit in life. From McKinley Grade School, Waller Junior High, Enid High School, undergrad, grad school. And when I studied for the bar exam, I didn't study at this library, but I studied at the Edmond Public Library. Why? Because libraries are a place of, intellectual epicenters. And back in the day, my phone's over there. Can I borrow your phone? Yes. Back in the day, you had to come here to do the research. You can do it here now. But here's one thing that hasn't changed. Libraries are still a place of solace and tranquility. And what better place to think? And you go off to a study room, a room of collaboration, and you get with other thinkers and others in your discipline, the group project, or just something you're working on in life. And that's what a library has meant to me time and time again. Just blocks away years ago when I was studying for the bar exam at the Edmond Public Library, and all the way back to McKinley Grade School, as I mentioned. So for those of you that work here at the library, I say thank you for what you do for our students on a daily basis, and all the work that is not seen. When the doors are closed, you're still here, preparing exhibits, changing things, making plans for the future, and then but having a place of that solace that I mentioned and the tranquility where our students can prepare for their homework, for the exam, for the group project. If there was no library, that would be extremely problematic. Here at UCO, of course, but anywhere throughout the world. And one more reflection I had is Provost Simmons was talking about history. Years ago, when I was in the United States Secret Service, I did international protection with President Clinton, and I took a trip with President Clinton to Ephesus, Turkey. And before he arrived, I was doing some advance work, and we had about two and a half days off. And agents always love to see in country what we could see. And we did a kind of a self-guided tour in Ephesus. Came across the amphitheaters, a lot of the engravings and trails on this stone pavement. But then we came across a facade, a front of a building. And we had this booklet, and you could tell it was just magnificent architecture. You knew it was old, but you had to look at the guide. And it was the front of what was the Ephesus Library. And my 2 points here. 1 point, sad. That was no longer standing. Nice that the facade and the front was there, but sad that that's all that was left. But if you think just one more step, joy of the lives that were changed and the individuals that were educated and learn from past and prepare for the future because of vision of the Ephesus Library and how that spread globally throughout the world from what occurred right there at Ephesus. So as we've talked and joked about 100 years from now, we're planting the seeds which an oak will sprout under the shade in which we'll never sit. Thank you. God bless you. Hooves up, roll chose, and if you know it, would you say it with me? Today is Tuesday, and today it's a great day to be a Bronco. Thank you, congratulations.
Thank you so much, President Lamb. I appreciate all the kind words. I have seen so many of my colleagues retire and go to have fun and amazing lives, and I keep thinking, when's it gonna be my turn? So now it's finally my turn. Anyway, I want to thank everybody. I said this program would be brief, but I do want to express our deepest thanks to each and every one of you. Without your unwavering support, dedication, and commitment, the library would not be the vibrant, thriving institution that it is. To our students, I would like to say you are the heart and soul of our institution, and it is a joy and privilege to serve you. That's right. Your curiosity, creativity, and thirst for knowledge inspire us every day, and we are continually awed by your intellect and passion for learning. Remember, the library will always be a place of sanctuary for you, a place where you can explore, discover, and grow in a safe and comfortable environment. To the faculty and staff, we say your tireless efforts, passion, knowledge, and unwavering dedication to our mission have been the driving force behind our success, and it is a privilege to work along such talented and dedicated individuals. And to the administration, to the alumni, to our donors, to our community partners, we say your support and generosity have been instrumental in our library's growth. Sorry, I said I wasn't gonna cry. And whether through financial contributions, through collaborative initiatives, or just advocacy on our behalf, you have helped to elevate our institution to a new height and ensure that our library remains a beacon of learning and innovation for generations to come. So from a modest beginning as a debate club fundraiser to our current status as a state-of-the-art resource center, the Max Chambers Library hopefully will stand for another 130 years as a dynamic center of learning, research, and discovery. So that concludes our program. Thank you all so much for coming. We have got lots of yummy food, and you can spin the swag wheel. We've got some great swag wheel. Make sure you also get Maxie. He's our new mascot. He likes to take selfies, but these are free. Please make sure you get one. And thank you again, everybody, for coming.